You ever been somewhere so damn quiet it felt like even the air stopped moving? Out on the edge of a small Midwest town, there's this old elementary school, the kind that's been left to rot for decades. Even the autumn leaves seemed scared to fall inside. I was standing there, camera in hand, just staring at the entrance and thinking, when the hell did the last bell ring here? I'm Sarah Collins, a documentary filmmaker obsessed with abandoned and forgotten places. I've always believed every empty building has a story to tell, if you're brave enough to listen. I've been working on a series called Forgotten Places, documenting America's old schools, hospitals, and motels. Usually, I've got a crew with me, sound guy, lights, backup. But this time, I wanted something raw. Just me and my camera. Thought I'd capture something more real that way. But the second I stepped past those rusty gates, I realized silence can feel alive. Every footstep echoed back like the walls were answering me. Sometimes it sounded like a faint laugh, sometimes like a sigh. I kept telling myself it was all in my head, but deep down I couldn't shake the thought. What if this building's still listening? From that moment, I wasn't sure if I was the one filming or being watched. I set up my tripod and hit record. Through the lens, the school looked even deader, like time had pressed pause decades ago. My footsteps echoed down the hall, bouncing off metal lockers that hadn't opened in years. The air smelled like chalk dust, wet paper, and rust. I stopped by an old bulletin board. Faded drawings, stick figures, and my favorite teacher notes still pinned there, some dated all the way back to 1979. I zoomed in, trying to get the perfect shot, but something about the air felt heavier. Inside one classroom, I did a slow pan. Golden autumn light streamed through cracked windows, glinting off a chalkboard that had a line drawn across it. Uneven, fresh. I zoomed closer. Below it, faint chalk words. We waited. I laughed nervously. Probably some local messing around, right? But when I touched the chalkboard, it was still damp. Like someone had just written it. That's when it hit me. This place wasn't empty. It was still waiting for someone. I grabbed my gear and headed for the next room. The hallway lights flickered every few seconds like the power was dying, and a broken ceiling fan made this slow, squeaky spin. Half turn, pause, half turn again. I framed a wide shot. Empty desks, a crooked door, faded alphabet posters. After a few minutes, I decided to check the playback. Everything looked fine until I saw it. For just 1 second, at the far end of the corridor, a faint outline, like someone moving past a doorway. Then gone. I grabbed my flashlight and walked straight down the hall. At the end, there was nothing but a sealed door, handle rusted, paint flaking off. It looked like it hadn't been opened in years. The walls were damp, stained in weird hand-shaped patches, almost like someone had pressed against them from the other side. The smell of old paper and dust filled the air. It was like the building was breathing, remembering. I was just about to pack up when my camera screen flickered. I thought the battery died, but then the red record light came on by itself. The camera started rolling. My stomach dropped. The screen glitched for a second, then froze on a new frame. Same classroom, same chalkboard, but now it had a new message. You left before the bell. Every hair on my arm stood up. I ran back to the room, heart pounding. Everything looked normal, but the chalkboard was clean, wiped spotless, like someone had erased it in a hurry. The chalk box on the tray was open. All sticks neatly lined up, except one missing. I looked on the floor. Nothing. No dust. No marks. That's when it hit me. Either the camera caught something my eyes couldn't, or that board really did write and erase by itself, right when I walked away. Night settled in heavy. The air inside the school felt like a held breath. I sat on the hallway floor, camera in hand, watching that damn door at the end. The only sounds were my own breathing and the quiet hum of the camera motor. Around midnight, it happened. A loud metallic clang ripped through the halls, the sound of a school bell. Old, rusted, and real. It rang once, twice, echoing through the walls. The wiring in this place had been dead for decades. My heart almost stopped. I hit playback immediately and froze. After the bell's echo faded, another layer of sound came through. Children's laughter. Not faint. Dozens of voices, giggling, whispering, humming like recess had just started. But there was no one here. Just dust, papers, and the shadows of what used to be. That's when I realized this wasn't sound from now. It was the past, playing on loop. A memory trapped inside the walls, replaying every time the bell rang. When the first sunlight hit the shattered windows, I packed up fast. Tripod, mic, the camera, all of it. The fog outside was thick, and the world felt too still, like the air itself was holding back a secret. As I stepped through the rusted front gate, everything seemed normal again. Too normal. No wind, no sound, not even a single leaf moving on the ground. Just that awful, frozen quiet. Then something made me look back. Up in a second-floor window, I swear I saw them. Small silhouettes, lined up perfectly, like kids waiting for roll call. Still, silent, barely visible in the dusty glass. I blinked, and they were gone. Heart pounding, I got in my car and started the engine. Before driving off, I checked my camera one last time. The screen flickered and froze on a single frame. The blackboard again. Written in chalk were 4 words: "See you after class." Then the screen went dark, and the silence that followed felt louder than any bell. You ever been to a place where it feels like time just stopped moving? Deep in the Appalachian Mountains, there's this old hospital people call the place that never really closed. I'm Michael, and I went there one freezing winter evening just to explore, but what I felt inside that place. Yeah, it's still with me. I'm a paramedical student. Life's been pretty normal, but I've always had this weird fascination with abandoned places. Some people spend weekends hiking or partying me. I break into old buildings and try to understand what stories they've seen. The laughter, the pain, the silence trapped in the walls, all of it. I like to think every old building is like a diary. You just need a little guts to read it. That's probably why I'm hooked on urban exploring. I always bring my camera to capture every sound, every corner. That night was no different. Late December, cold wind biting at my face. And there I was standing in front of that old hospital in the Appalachians. No crew, no friends, just me, my tripod, camera, flashlight, and curiosity. I figured it'd be just another forgotten building, maybe a few cool photos, and I'd head home. I was tired from classes, but excited. Something about that place felt different, like it was hiding a secret. Outside, it actually looked kind of peaceful. A thin layer of snow covered half the old signboard. St. Helena County Hospital, closed 1984. Near the entrance, an old stretcher sat frozen in place, its wheels rusted and locked. Next to it, a faded poster still clung to the wall. Wash your hands before every procedure. I started setting up my camera, checking lighting, doing my usual sweep of every corner. Walking down the long hallway, the floor cracked with every step. My breath fogged in the freezing air. Everything was buried under layers of dust and cobwebs, like time really had stopped here. Then, inside one of the wards, something caught my eye. On a side table sat a clean glass, half full of water. At first, I thought it was a reflection or maybe just a trick of the light. But when I moved closer, I realized the water was fresh. No dust, no fingerprints, nothing. The room had no signs of anyone being there, but that glass had just been placed. A cold chill ran straight down my spine. The hallway was pitch dark, except for the faint blue glow of moonlight slipping through broken windows. Every step I took made the old wooden floor creak, echoing all around me. The paint was peeling off in long, hanging strips, and that faint disinfectant smell still lingered, like the building never really let go of its past. I stopped by one ward. There was an old patient chart still hanging on the wall. Up close, I could read it clearly. Patient, Daniel R. The date said December 12th, 1982. The handwriting looked weirdly fresh, perfect, untouched, even though everything else around it was falling apart. At the end of the hall, I noticed a hospital cart frozen in place. One wheel slightly turned, like someone had just pushed it a second ago, and it stopped mid-motion. I shined my flashlight down the corridor. Nothing. Just that strange hum in the air, like the building had started to breathe. Down in the basement, the air got colder, heavy with damp concrete and a weird metallic smell. The walls were covered in moss, and the shadows felt thicker, darker. I found a small control room, rusted panels, dead switches, and broken CCTV monitors coated in dust. Clearly, no one had been here in decades. But when I moved my flashlight across one of the screens, it flickered. Just for a second. I thought it was a reflection, but then, right through the static, a frame popped up. A hospital bed, and on it, a shadowy figure lying still. I froze. That couldn't be real. The hospital had no power. I turned my flashlight toward where that room should have been and slowly walked over. The bed was there, sheets perfectly folded, a rusted tray beside it. But no figure, just that faint disinfectant smell again. Fresh, like someone had just cleaned the place. That's when it hit me. The building wasn't empty. It had noticed me. As I moved deeper down the corridor, every footstep sounded too loud, too real. Cold drafts brushed across my face. The rusted pipes and peeling walls threw moving shadows everywhere. I started feeling like the whole place was aware of me, like it was watching. Every time I turned a corner, I swore I saw something move at the edge of my vision. But when I looked straight, nothing. My heart was racing, adrenaline kicking in hard. I told myself it was exhaustion, the cold, my imagination running wild. Then I checked my camera's live view, and there it was, clear as day. A dark figure standing near the old operating table. Undefined shape, but standing like it knew I was there. I flicked my flashlight on, scanning every corner. Nothing. The bed was empty. The tools were rusted and untouched. Only silence. Thick, heavy silence. Just my own breathing and the faint ticking of a distant clock. For a second, I felt like I was standing in the middle of something unfinished. I didn't look back. I just walked straight for the exit. Every step echoed down that endless hallway, the shadows on the wall twisting with every flicker of the failing lights. At the very end, a neon sign blinked weakly. Emergency exit. It flickered in this strange rhythm, like it was pulsing with something unseen. I paused for a second, then pushed through. Outside, I started my car. The snow was falling softly, everything dead quiet. For a minute, it felt peaceful, until I caught something in the rearview mirror. A silhouette, standing just inside the glass doors, staring straight at me. I blinked, gone. My pulse spiked. I couldn't shake it off. Now, every time I drive past an old hospital, I swear I see that same flicker, that same shape. And sometimes, for a split second, a faint reflection appears in the mirror, with words scrawled across it. See you after class. Since that night, I can't tell if it's all in my head, or if something from that hospital never really let me leave.